obviously are here at COP28, hoping that COP28 will yield something a lot better than the previous COPs. I wish I had come here first because I just spoke in the plenary session. I could have taken this and held it up for all the heads of states to see my speech.
Team Climate, to everybody present here at the launch of the South African Pavilion in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. This launch marks an important milestone in the journey that started at COP23 in Bonn, Germany. The South Africa Pavilion showcases the mutually beneficial relationship that exists between government and the National Business Initiative.
So we are very excited, obviously, for this experience in COP28. As a bank, we are very involved in terms of energy finance as an integral part of our ESG strategy. And just being here, sharing, listening, and reflecting on the journey that we are on as a bank in terms of playing our role in terms of our ESG plans has been very refreshing.
These are critical partnerships. As you know, for example, as a private entity, we would not necessarily have access to COP, but through the invitation of the South African government and also through the association with the NBI, the National Business Initiative, we're able to participate, we're able to provide a voice, perspectives in terms of the deliberations here.
This is our Umlibo tapestry that we made. We heard the world talking about climate change, and we didn't know that climate change, what it is. And then when we met the scientists through WWF, who commissioned us to do this work, and also with the group of governing of Flanders, they give us the opportunity of making this beautiful Umlibo artwork talking about climate change.
So in terms of this particular COP, what we're seeing is that the issues that affect emerging economies is being elevated. The just transition is particularly important from a South African context, from a Sasol context. We are decarbonizing our operations, moving from a coal-based operations largely to now a more diversified energy mix being included, including renewables. We're looking for gas. We're also trying to move into green hydrogen. With those shifts, we will see just transition implications if it's not managed. And so for us, this COP really allows us to have the conversations that impact the country most.
Particularly when you take into account that we want to transition into low carbon transition minerals and grow our renewable energy business Synergy, which we see as a very big contribution not only to the energy security concerns that are currently occurring globally, but also as our contribution to addressing some of the national challenges that we face as a country.
This side, we are talking about what is happening. If it's raining, it rains a lot. If it's hot, it's extremely hot. And then if it's cold, it's also over and over cold.
At Opgen Research and Conservation, we like to talk about science for impact. It's very important for us to be part of the game, to be a player, but not just sitting in an office in Johannesburg, also taking our message out to the rest of the world. We've come here with the South African Pavilion. We've been parts of that.
COP28, 8 years after the Paris conference, it's now time to reflect. And I think we are at an inflection point. We are at an inflection point because we do realize that we have great ambitions, but there is a massive gap in terms of investments required to meet our targets. And that's the key message. How can we mobilize these investments required?
So coming to the other side, that's where we are going to, because we want to reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius that we are talking about and the climate change.
The African Climate Foundation is very new. We're 3.5 years old, and our mission is really to solve challenging and complex climate issues, both from a point of view of sectors that are vulnerable to climate risk and improving the conditions to address that within the national sphere and at the local level.
I think this COP is very important because the world is realizing just how important it is to maintain that 1.5 degrees Celsius limitation, and that not meeting our carbon emissions goals has dire effects for the generations to come. And at this moment, South Africa is at the front and center of the conversation, as we have been in the past, and we keep on maintaining that position as a country that's good at negotiating.
Butterfly, because it's a beautiful thing, from the bad to the good. So it's something that is shown on our Umlibo tapestry behind.
Contributions, and business stepped up to say wherever there's a shortfall, business will consolidate itself and ensure that there is at least some climate action that is occurring in the midterm, to a point now where business is a centerpiece of most of the contributions, as well as any other component that speaks to climate action. So
Umlibo is the connection to the world. That's why we said we are talking in one voice with Umlibo. We are the globe, so we have to be connected like Umlibo, talking together. Umlibo is something that is bringing everybody together.